Funny.
Yeah. That's right. What's up, everybody? This is Matt Taylor here, teacher at Southwest Lawrence Elementary School in Rents, Georgia. I teach 5th grade math and science. I have a YouTube channel known as 5th grade math and science with Mr. Taylor. I'm calling it now the shop. If you would tune into that, you'll see some other videos of math standards as well as some science standards we've covered. Our previous episode, Everett and I made Play-Doh. Made moon sand. And today we're making Play-Doh. And as you can see, Everett's already diving into the flour that we already have in the mixing bowl here. But as we make the Play-Doh, you're going to see several different things. You're going to see some physical changes as well as chemical changes take place.
All the things we can do, we're going to do woo.
We'll do woo, that's right.
Hey, do you want to make the snowball fight?
Yeah, a snowball fight. After we make the Play-Doh, we'll do a snowball fight, okay? We'll make some more moon sand, and we can throw it outside, okay?
Moon sand!
Moon sand. So as you can see, moon sand was a huge hit. It was awesome, a lot of fun. So check that previous episode out on our YouTube channel. Now I said today and tonight we are making our homemade Play-Doh no-bake recipe. Very simple, something you can do to see physical and chemical changes in action. Now physical changes, don't forget, physical can be reversed, whereas chemical cannot. So you're gonna see in a moment, you'll see a physical change that I'll talk about that can be reversed, but a chemical change cannot be reversed and form something new such as Play-Doh. So, with that being said, let's get started. I'm going to tell you what ingredients you need to make your Play-Doh. You'll need some salt, you'll need some vegetable oil, and you'll need, what do you have in your hand there, Everett? We have some measuring spoons, and we need a what? What's this?
Spatula.
A spatula. You also need measuring cups as well.
You need some in there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We don't need that in there yet?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you need measuring cups. These each come from the dollar store, so you can get them for $1 each. Now, Dollar Tree is where we got these from in Dublin. Now, as you continue on, you also have your flour, all-purpose flour, water, and lemon juice, and Everett's favorite color of food coloring, which is what color?
Green.
Green. We're gonna make some green Play-Doh for you. Now, so let's go and get started with our ingredients. We're gonna see a physical change take place first as we mix this together. Now, Everett has already added in 1 cup of flour for us. So start with 1 cup of flour. Now you can see it inside. He's kind of picking some up for you to look at it. So check that out. So that's our 1 cup of flour.
See?
Now we're gonna add 3/4 cups of water, or 3/4 of a cup. Now when you do that, we have an issue in here because I don't have 3/4 of a cup. Now I tell my students in class all the time, you can always use these measuring cups to make 3/4 of a cup if you wanna get specific. For example, I have a half and I have a fourth. Well, we know a half is 2/4 as an equivalent fraction. So if I take 2/4 and add my 1/4, that makes up our 3/4 we need for water. So I'm gonna take 1/2, I'm gonna pour it in here. That's our 1/2 cup.
Yep.
And then we need our 1/4 of a cup. And together, they make up our 3/4 of a cup that we need of water. Now, you also need 1/4 of a cup of salt. All right, so 1/4 of a cup of salt, that's your smallest measuring cup here. So I'm pouring 1/4 of a cup of salt. So 1/4 of a cup is right there. Now Everett's gonna mix that around a little bit. Now here's a really cool thing as he's mixing that with measuring spoons. You should mix it with a spatula, but we're letting Everett have a great time over here making a mess. So as he mixes that together, you notice there's flour, all right, we mixed salt and water. Well, if I put that outside and let the water evaporate, all right, that would be a physical change. Any part of the water cycle is a physical change because it can be reversed. Because if that water were to evaporate, it also could condensate and come back down again. So any part of the water cycle is a physical change. Now let's do some chemical changes and let them take place and create our Play-Doh. So here we go. So we've got our salt, we've got 1/4 cup of salt, 3/4 cups of water, 1 cup of flour. Next, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, which I need to borrow from Everett here. Now your tablespoon, help me out, baby. Your tablespoon is actually this right here. It is your largest of the measuring spoons. Now, as we put in our three tablespoons, we're gonna count our 15 milliliters each, so that'll be 45 milliliters total. Have 1, 2, and 3. And then last but not least, we also need 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. All right, now the lemon juice is an acid, and the acid helps makes the reaction happen a little faster. All right, so we'll take 1 tablespoon, all right, of lemon juice. Put it in as well. Now, as it mixes together, and Everett's working on turning that with his spatula, as it mixes, we're gonna put in some food coloring as well. All right, so we have a nice, beautiful mess that Everett and I love to make. Do we like making messes?
Yep.
They're so much fun.
Yep.
All right, so as we turn here, see we have a leaking food coloring container, so be careful. Find a Ziploc bag if you do have one like us. We're gonna put in a little bit, all right, of green food coloring here. Let Everett continue to mix that around.
Green.
Green, and he can see it's already starting to turn green.
Whoa.
He is loving it
Hey,
as you will love it.
look, it's green.
So everyone should check it out. See, it's turning green. Oh, let me hold it for 1 second, baby. I'll be right back. So it's turning green. So we're gonna keep mixing that around a little bit. Now I'm gonna pick it up with my hands. Now be careful not to pick it up. The food coloring is still wet because it will turn your hands green. You'll be like the Hulk or the Grinch on Dr. Seuss, which would be okay. Won't be a bad thing. But we just don't want to have green hands for a long time, right, Everett? No.
No.
It's okay. Now, sometimes your Play-Doh may seem to be a little sticky. If it's a little sticky, what you want to do is add a little bit more flour to it. The flour will help the stickiness actually turn into more of a softer texture. So, we're going to add a little bit more flour to our Play-Doh here. You can get there with your hands and knead it. All right, knead it. It's kind of like you're kneading if you have dough that you cook with or bread dough of any kind. You knead it with your knuckles and kind of press it with your knuckles, and it's called kneading. All right, so as we knead it together, all right, at the very end, all right, we now have our Play-Doh. So here's our green Play-Doh that we can build things with. We can stretch and play. It's almost like a nice pizza dough that you can lay out. Boop, boop. So I'm gonna let Everett enjoy his new Play-Doh here. So here, baby, would you swap with Daddy? Have that. All right, so there is our new Play-Doh. Like I said, you may want to add a little bit. If it seems to be still a little sticky, just add a little bit of flour. All right, much like you would do at a dough that you make for bread or anything, but as you do, just kind of knead it in. Yeah, just knead it in. And there you have it. You have your own personal Play-Doh. Now, I will tell you this, a nice tip. Do not leave it out. Make sure you put it in a sealed container because it will dry out and harden, be kind of like crunchy. And you don't let it happen. So if you want to keep it soft and moist, make sure you find a Ziploc bag or some kind of sealed plastic container to keep it in overnight. That way the next day you'll be ready to play with it again. Now I've seen people make different colors and rainbow textures and add glitter to it. So feel free to add your own twist, however you would like. But this is a chemical change, as you can see, because we've created a new substance that can't be reversed. All right, so this is our homemade Play-Doh. And tonight on our episode in math, in 5th grade math, we'll be discussing fractions and decimals. So hope you join us on the shop. This is my co-host, Mr. Everett. Everett, can tell him thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for seeing all the things.
Thank you for seeing all the things. So thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great one. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Blow me a kiss.
Mwah.
Mwah. See y'all.
I can't even see how my hands are dirty.
Dirty.